I want to turn to some of the more conventional institutions for mediation and how successful they've been and why, maybe. And one that comes to mind is the Lok Adalats. Tell me a bit more about that, please.
Lok Adalat, if you translate it in English, would mean people's court. And while the court word has been used, but the practice in Lok Adalat is, absolutely stress-free, very friendly, and the atmosphere is such that it has been a great success model. So Lok Adalats is in fact a very old institution in India, but got its sanctity through a statute called Legal Service Authority Act. So Legal Services Authority Act has various levels of legal services authorities established in the country at district level and then state level, and then NALSA, which is the National Legal Services Authority. Usually, just for the sake of information, the second senior most judge of the Supreme Court is the chairman of the NALSA, and second senior most judge of the High Court, respective High Court, will be the chairperson of the state legal service authority. So you can imagine the seriousness of these institutions and the kind of authority that they have. And there are constant efforts at the level of district service authorities also to educate people, to bring them to Lok Adalats to resolve a variety of disputes. And some of the most popular Lok Adalats are of traffic tickets in India, are of electricity bills in India, are of some of the other statutory bills that people have either flouted or have the dues are really high. So, and they're very successful ones. I mean, I would like to admit I've been benefited through these traffic tickets, Lok Adalat, at times. So because it's a no-brainer, frankly, Aled. What the setup there is, although you could also for any other dispute send an application to the district's legal service authority and ask them to take your dispute under the Lok Adalat, which obviously the Lok Adalat authority would then send a notice to the other party. They would request the other party to also appear. But it's a request, it's not mandatory for them. I mean, they can choose to appear or not to appear. It's completely something that they have to decide. But common disputes which can be resolved through Lok Adalat include, consumer disputes like bills that are due to statutory bodies, even at times some of the complex looking disputes, but which are easier, which do not require a lot of evidence, which do not require a lot of external parties to play a role. There are a variety of disputes that can be resolved through Lok Adalats, and anything that does not require evidentiary hearings, anything that does not have allegations of serious fraud, anything that does not contain any criminality or any possibility of a criminal case that can be filed alongside, can be resolved through Lok Adalats. And as I mentioned, it is possible for anybody to approach Lok Adalats and ask for resolution through it. And as I said, there would be a formal notice that would be sent to the other side. And it's completely for the party to choose whether they would like to present themselves before Lok Adalat or not. But just like any other dispute resolution mechanism similar to mediation conciliation, Lok Adalats also do not force parties to accept any sort of settlement. They can only encourage, and the atmosphere is kept such that parties just see what's good for them. So the reason I gave you the traffic ticket as an example was the most simple one for anybody to understand. It's a ticket that you can't do away with, right? And at some point of time, you would maybe you want to sell your car, maybe you want to renew your license, and that's when the authorities will say that, oh, there are some tickets pending, so you have to pay them. why not pay them at a subsidized rate at all of them together, instead of going to different authorities depending on where the violation was. Everything gets clear. You start from zero again, and then obviously hope not to get fresh traffic tickets. But it's just the ease of getting out of something which may not look very important or critical at that point of time, but can actually eventually land up becoming a very crucial issue for you, and especially when you want to renew your license or something like that. So some of these Lok Adalats are organized from time to time under the aegis of the district state legal service authority, and been very successful.